comic book news, two brown dudes, comic book news. What's brown? Chat. This chat. What's up? Chat. This chat. What's up? Chat. This chat. What's up? Chat. This chat.
What up, Chipper Chaps? This is Chipper Chap Chat episode 139. Confirmed. Now we've got regular audio.
Oh, look at this.
Look at us doing stuff in the moment.
Yep.
I'm FooRay,
Chamba.
and this is Adam. He's been on at least once before.
Yeah.
Twice? Once?
Twice before?
I
I know you were on the old podcast.
Yeah, you're definitely on the old one.
Anyway, he's my roommate, and he sees movies as well sometimes. So we're going to talk about that as well as some other stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mainly movies, this one.
Mainly movies.
Like the last ones, we split it up. So.
Alright, what's first on the thingy?
First one on the thingy is the X-Men Dark Phoenix International trailer. We just rewatched it again.
We just watched it again.
We watched all these ones again.
This is basically like a remake of the third X-Men movie, kind of?
In a sense. Like, you guys all watched it. You watched it, right?
I would say it's probably closer to like
The actual comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
It's not.
I mean, right, but I would only say it's closer because the other one wasn't at all.
Right.
I mean, the only thing that seems closer is at some point they go into the
Space.
atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, space thing.
All right, because they do have a scene where they actually...
I think from what I understand, what is happening in that space scene is there's some sort of problem with like a NASA or something, and the X-Men go up to help, and Jean, I think, has to try and hold the space station together or something while some kind of crazy cosmic thing
And that's
is
where
happening.
it affects her.
And she like absorbs all of it, and everybody else has to evacuate. For some reason she gets left behind, but for some reason she survives it as well.
Alright.
And then as a result of her surviving
She's the Phoenix.
she now has like
The
this
Dark
Phoenix ability.
right.
And then
Wait a
Jessica
second.
Chastain shows up and starts being
Didn't
like,
she already
"Hey, you
show
got
signs of that
powers."
in the previous one, though?
She did. And
So why is it now she's acquiring more in the space?
because the timeline doesn't
Reasons.
matter ever.
Reasons and
The
I don't think
timeline
ever mattered.
never matters.
I think that's my
what it is.
biggest issue.
Is the timeline
To begin with. Like, I've got a lot more issues with the X-Men franchise. I don't care anymore.
at all?
I haven't in a while. It's hard.
I didn't even see Apocalypse.
That shows how much care you've got for this franchise at this point.
It was not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a couple little chunks of it, and I was like, no, I think I was right not seeing that one.
Olivia Munn was in it.
Yeah, that was
If
weird.
that's a highlight,
It's not. I mean, I don't dislike Olivia Munn.
right? It's just
But
know, let's put Olivia
feel
Munn
like
to be Psylocke. Or,
They could have
okay,
got almost anybody else, really.
right,
A
right.
ton of, like, Asian martial artists.
Yeah,
man.
like legitimate
Yeah.
performers.
Who are also
Right.
actors.
Right.
Also.
They exist. I don't know why they're harder to find.
But yeah, this one, I don't know. It looks like a movie, I guess. I don't care.
It looks like a movie.
I'm not watching it in the cinema.
You heard it here first. You're not seeing that one in cinema, you don't think?
No. I'm done with the X-Men.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Wow.
Because at this point, after this, Fox...
We're gonna get
Fox,
rebooted.
Yeah, it's going to get rebooted, so I'll just wait for that.
Yeah, I
Under
definitely
Disney.
feel like they need to do. They really need to commit to like the late '80s, like X-Men reboot, and make
I
it
reckon they are.
like all they need to do is take the fucking '90s cartoon.
Honestly, I reckon when they do reboot it, it's going to be It's gotta be
gotta.
focused on that. It's
To me,
gotta be.
it has to be.
It's
that
the most
team.
well-known.
It's the best.
Yeah,
it's
you
the
gotta
most
have-
well-known
yeah,
lineup of
yeah.
X-Men to general.
You'd be
audience.
crazy not to. That's why I was like, when they first said it, I was like, why are you not
Well,
doing
like
that?
I think it's X2.
Mhm.
You know,
They
Bryan Singer got kind of close.
Yeah, he
with
got
it,
close.
right? He got kind of close, but then from there they just like fucking alternate realities, whatever.
Right.
Like
Let's
at least
retcon it within story.
Deadpool is actually at this point
Oh, a better
the
X-Men.
closest actual X-Men
Yeah.
movie we have.
Yeah.
The suits look like X-Men suits. I don't know. Deadpool's one is. I want it to be set in that one, but
Yeah.
at this point, I have no idea what's going
I
on.
don't
with that.
Well, it seems like the X-Men or the Deadpool franchise is still going to release under Fox as kind of like an alt brand, so that they can still put them out
Choose
rated
the
R.
R, yeah.
I just don't. I think that they'll probably just give Deadpool more free reign to do whatever he
Which
wants.
is even
Right.
cooler at this point.
Could be cooler.
I think it could because
Could
like he's
be
not tied
problematic
down.
eventually.
Eventually, but then like with the whole, all right, say in the Marvels in the MCU they've got the whole multiple universes anyway already,
Right.
so you can just say he's in another.
Could, but you can no longer make references to like. I mean, you can make references to saying like McAvoy and stuff, but you can't have that whole team of
No, of
X-Men
course
show up anymore. That's
Yeah.
just not going to work.
I don't
mean-
even think he needs to at this point though.
The problem with that stuff is obviously they're willing to cross over.
Yes.
But at some point, you gotta, like, there has to be boundaries, or if they're not, then they all exist in the same place, which, from a fan perspective, is fine, but then you kind of pigeonhole yourself where these movies have to be a certain way.
Right.
But they're like, well, we want to bring, whomever into
Yeah.
this movie, and then you're like, well, that would be weird, because he's, like, the wholesome PG-13 superhero,
Right.
and
Like,
now we want him in
everybody wants-
Deadpool getting pegged or whatever.
Everybody wants a Spider-Man.
That happened.
Everybody wants a Spider-Man Deadpool crossover,
Right.
but Spider-Man is
Right.
so kid branded.
Yeah, there's no way it
They're
would
just-
work.
It's just not going to happen.
They would
Yeah.
basically just be like it's way easier to do in comics because comics you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Movies because I mean even in television you could probably get away with it. Like a lot of the CW shows they do some wild stuff every now and then because it's episodic.
Mm-hmm.
I think technically they're getting away with it in movies right now.
Yeah.
With like Deadpool and like X-Men and Wolverine, and they're all sort of
Loosely joined.
right. They exist in a place together somewhere, but
Right.
not necessarily with each
I
other.
feel it's kind of the same now with the DC at this point.
Well, it seems like it's going that
Yeah,
way.
with
for
Shazam.
sure.
Well, that was another one. I didn't write it down, but I mean, which might as well say. The Kevin Tsujihara, the guy who's in charge of the DC movies, he's basically saying from the next film onwards, basically, all the films are going to
cohesive.
no.
No, less
Oh.
so. They're
Less
going to
so.
kind of go their
Oh.
own way.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean,
Because at that point, it's just like just tell a good story. I
Well,
don't really care.
I mean, they're
some of those
they're
characters
going-
are still going to be the characters that were in
Sure.
Justice League.
Yeah,
like they're
where
still
some
going
aren't.
to continue
Like Ben Affleck,
Aquaman's franchise.
He's not Batman
They're
anymore.
going to
Right.
continue Wonder Woman's franchise.
Superman is still in the air
Yeah, Superman.
'Cause
We're still
he's still
waiting to
actually-
hear back.
because I know he's fine with it. He wants
He
to do
wants
it.
to
He
do
wants to
it.
do another one.
It's
It's, just
just-
they're not sure how to tackle Superman. I'm like, how do you not know how
I
to
think
tackle
there's
Superman?
also an issue with when they want to do it. They want to do all these other things before they get around to doing a Superman movie again. And I think he's going, no, like, I'm fucking
Yeah.
Superman, dude. Like, you
right.
gotta
But, like,
make the
Well, he's
Superman
also
movie.
like he's in shape.
How long ago was Man of Steel?
Also, the thing is, how is it?
2012.
There's so many stories of Superman right now in book form and whatnot. How difficult is it to just tell one of those stories?
Right.
Well, I mean, like
He's Superman.
logistically, the longer you wait, the more he's
Absolutely, they're gonna recast him eventually.
Yeah. So for him, he's like, "Fucking, let's go, man!" Like,
I'm not getting any younger.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I
Do
mean?
it before I'm killing myself
Yeah.
like Jackman was.
Right.
well, it's like we were just talking about a movie, whatever, but they're like, "Oh, we're making another one of these movies," and we're like, "It's been 20 years. Like, why is that?"
What,
What?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
maybe that's what it was. No,
Yeah.
I think it was anyway. But it's like at some point, the relevancy is gone,
Oh, yeah.
and it feels very disjointed to release something like that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. It if nothing else, it's a very interesting case study of how like Marvel's like, let's make all these stories. Oh, look, it's successful. Let's put them together. Where the Warner Brothers is like, oh, that's successful. Fucking, we got Avengers too, or whatever.
Right.
And then they do it, and now they're like, oh shit, and now they're trying to do all the single stories.
It's
on
kind of
their
like what
own.
happened with
It's very interesting.
Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because that was
And they
supposed
kind
to
of
be
shot themselves
a
in the
big
foot.
universe as well.
Yeah.
They tried twice.
However, now they're actually they're doing the Invisible Man. I think that's what he's. I don't know
That
what
was
his
the
name
one
is.
that wasn't that one Johnny Depp?
Yeah, it's not gonna be him.
Okay.
This new one, they're actually gonna do a proper one, but it's gonna be a horror film. It's gonna be
Like Hollow Man again?
low. It's gonna be more Bloomhouse budget,
That still seems like Hollow Man.
right? But it's gonna be a proper Universal monster. That's what they're gonna do.
I have to
But
say,
he's just invisible.
I don't know.
yeah,
it's
you
hard-
could cast
Hollow
whoever.
Man.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna
why you can
see
cast whoever.
A
Exactly.
weird, dangly,
They're not gonna
invisible
show
Mummy-
wiener,
mummy boy.
like we did with
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
That was weird.
Yeah, I think with the Universal Monster thing, the biggest thing is that, if you're going to do something like that, the movies can't super suck.
Yeah. It was fun and dumb, that movie.
The Mummy? I didn't even see it.
Oh,
They
it was
took
dumb.
it, but they took it too serious,
Yes.
which was a problem.
If it was more campy, ooh, I promise it would be so fun.
They got to go one way or the other, right? Either it's got to be a little more campy, or it's got to be like R.
Yes.
Like
if
horror.
they did
Yeah.
it, if they honestly went all the way with like Army of Darkness vibe,
Yeah.
I would have loved
Acceptable.
that even way more.
Man.
Because the thing is, I was watching and I'm like, it feels like they were almost leaning to that.
Did you see the
but they
Dracula
didn't.
one?
Dracula Untold? Yeah.
Because that was supposed to be the first.
That was supposed to be the
attempt.
first, but then they were like, no, let's not again.
Right.
And then they were like, let's do the Mummy to start it.
Right.
They even got the cast of all of them, you know,
Right.
with the photos and everything. And I was like, that didn't do well. Let's.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to
Not
like
again.
Jolie was
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Did you see the Dracula one? Mm-hmm. Was it? I didn't see it. All I remember is the dumb fist of bats coming down from the trailer. I was like, no.
That is so
that was
anime.
hilarious.
I
Yeah,
love it because
great.
it's so
It was very
anime. Yeah. It was anime, and I was like, ridiculous. But the whole film has to be ridiculous, though. You know what I mean? You can't just do that
Yeah.
and let that be that.
I thought it was just okay. The
False start. It was a false start.
Yeah, they had
2 false starts.
had the Game of Thrones dude in it. The what's his name? Numsy
Oh,
with
yeah.
the one eye.
Yeah, it's the best. Those are 2 different movies.
They are.
Dude. I love it.
They are. But you know the guy. What's that guy's fucking name?
He's in. Yeah. I don't
The
know.
main Lannister,
Old man.
old man Lannister.
Oh,
got shot on the toilet.
Yeah. Fucking yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. But also
Yeah, Last
Numsy,
Action
which is
Hero
from
guy.
Yeah,
also
exactly.
Numsy
That's
from
that's
Golden
all right.
Child.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Numsy from Golden Child.
Yeah. That's great.
Anyway,
That's super meta, dude. Jesus.
that guy was in it.
He's
and
great.
He was like the like glue vampire.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Oh, where if you kill them, they're all dead or whatever.
Sort of, but then after they do a time jump at the end of the movie. Spoiler for a movie you're never gonna watch. They
They never do a sequel for.
Yeah.
I had years. It's fine.
They go all the way to modern times.
Yeah.
And they show he's still alive in modern times for a second. This is their like post credit scene to set up the universe. And the old man Lannister guy shows up and he was like, "Oh, let the game begin."
Yeah.
Like it was going to be a
What
big
sucks
thing where
though,
now we
right,
start to
is
introduce
that
the rest of the characters.
A lot of these films, I feel, have potential.
You know what would have been a better after credit scene if they were really trying to tie it together at that point? Just have him go to Star. Like he's. I mean, he's a vampire. He's not supposed to have Starbucks, but this would have been
I think
hilarious.
it was at a.
It might have been at a
So
cafe.
just have him. He's getting coffee or whatever at Starbucks, and he turns around and he starts talking to Tom Cruise.
But see, Tom Cruise
But-
hadn't been cast at that point.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
how
it would've
great
been
would that?
cool,
You're just like,
Tom
like
Cruise?
what?
Yeah,
but
because
like,
if they had not announced it, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Wait, who?" and he's like, he says his character's name, you're like, "Oh shit, that's the guy from the Mummy." I'm like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
you're like have no idea what that's all about, and that would have been a great
That's how
little
Marvel
tie-in.
did it.
Yeah, or even how they try to do it with Split, where like Bruce Willis is just
Yeah.
in there at the end.
Yeah.
What's next on the
Hellboy,
Hellboy?
R-rated trailer.
R-rated trailer for Hellboy. So you didn't even know this was rated R ahead of time.
No, I didn't.
It's
Yeah,
good.
I think the first trailer was a Red Band trailer too.
I don't know.
I remember him calling somebody an asshole.
Really? That's Red Band?
I think so, because kids are gonna see it.
I guess. They're not going to see this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that trailer then.
This one was definitely way more R-rated.
They had that
with
big
the
monster
violence.
that's like slicing people
Yeah.
in the air. That looks very, very Silent Hilly.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
they definitely were like make a
It seems
Guillermo
almost-
del Toro beast.
Right, it feels Guillermo
Yeah, with the head
in
and
its
everything.
design and
Yeah.
stuff. Which I don't know if like
He's
is he
involved.
still on as a
No.
producer or anything?
Well-
Who's involved primarily? I know Mignola.
Right.
He's got a big
See-
hand in designing a lot
Okay,
of shit.
so now, but see, I feel like that's how a lot of those designs will carry over
Yeah.
because he worked with Guillermo in all those movies.
At the same time, though, like if Guillermo made a bunch of shit for the other two movies, that's studio property probably,
Yep.
and they could have been like, "Oh, that was cool." Fucking.
Well,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
adapt that. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if you got the art of books and they
You'll see
just
something like
yeah,
that.
it's like, oh, this was kind of loosely inspired by that, but then they changed it
Yeah.
up anyways. The trailer itself looks pretty fun.
I feel like everything looked cool except for the parts with Hellboy in it.
It's very
Yeah.
red.
I just don't like what he looks like.
Well, you know,
It's the baby hand.
I don't even know if that's it at
To
this
me,
point.
that's definitely a factor.
I think
still.
his face doesn't move like a
Yeah.
face
I think it's because
is
it's
supposed
too like angular. He's got a lot of shape.
to. Right.
I think it's mostly he just doesn't move.
No, he doesn't. Yeah.
Like,
It's not
you know,
expressive.
Ron Perlman in the prosthetics, he was a big dude, and he was mostly pretty stiff in his shoulders and whatnot, but, you know, he was still smoking a cigar, moving his arms a lot, and doing head tilt and stuff.
And I feel like his baked-in expression is
normal,
more fitting than...
normal looking.
I actually wish
Harvard.
that they had just mocapped him.
Make a CG character or something?
As in, like, even just CG his face. Because, like, Hellboy's design, he's like, cheekbones cave in.
Yeah.
And they kind of tried to capture that with his face.
That guy's head is just so
yeah,
big.
it's just, it looks
weird.
so gigantic right now. So it doesn't look like that it's, he has, like, really thin skin and it's, like, almost close to the bone. Whereas his skull right now looks like a predator skull. It's gigantic.
Yeah.
You know, like, his cheekbone go all the way out here. Whereas if it was like mocap face, you could still capture all of these expressions, but actually make it fit within a face that's... You can even give him the jaw, give him the brow and everything. I think that's a missed opportunity, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like I would have loved to have seen how they would handle it.
Because, I mean, like, if
CGI
all the
Hellboy, 'cause
monsters
these could make it look more
if
like
all
a
the
comic.
monsters are CG,
Yeah.
why not just have him CG face? Have a body there, though. Like, he's going to be
I feel
mocap
like
there. Go all the way mocap.
His big, silly muscles look dumb to me.
That's what I mean.
Like
Mocap the whole thing.
I
Mocap
feel-
the whole thing.
But I feel like he's a substantial enough dude where they didn't need to give him a full muscle suit. You know what I mean?
Hellboy, was he shirtless the whole time too?
He was shirtless a handful of... Like, there was moments where
But
he just...
primarily. It seems like this one's primarily shirtless.
Yeah. Hellboy had like a shirt. Like, he wore a
Yeah.
black shirt underneath his big trench coat.
Like a tank or something, right? Yeah.
Right.
There were times where he was, you know,
Right.
topless and you get to see the actual
Yeah.
muscle suit. But here, he's
He's
primarily just muscle
He's primarily
suit. Yeah.
shirtless, and
But
then
his head
there's
just
like
looks so
one
big.
scene of him wearing like a hoodie,
Yeah.
which I feel like he looks more normal there.
He does.
It's something about the oversized coat that really fucks with the design. I feel like
It's...
I don't like it at all.
his head just looks so big.
It does. I think David Harbour's just got a big head in general.
But even then, that's what I'm saying.
does.
If you had just actually did the mocap thing, he would be
I
in
just know
proportions.
if they did a CGI Hellboy, people would have been hating on it.
People
I-
would
I
hate it
actually-
regardless.
They did it practical
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
I know.
first one.
I
That's
agree
the
with
internet
you.
right there.
I do feel like they could have accentuated with CG.
That's what I mean. It's like
but doing
level it
full
out.
Like Vision.
Yeah.
Vision's
That's
the
what I
dude
mean.
on
That's-
set, but
see,
they fuck with his
do-
face.
But that's
to
what I
make it
mean,
crazy.
though. Like, you don't have to do the whole thing. Have
Yeah.
his points there, but like him be there the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like fix it, like what they did with Red Skull
Yeah.
in not the
First Avenger.
first Avenger, but also in the
Infinity War
he
2?
appeared in Infinity War, and that's what they
Infinity
did.
War was all
Infinity War
CG.
1, rather.
Really,
Mhm.
but see,
It was
that's
completely
mocap,
CGI
right?
character in that one.
Looked great,
Mhm.
and he looked amazing because it looked like an actual skull as opposed to some dude wearing a skull face.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, you know.
Trailer looks fun, though. I
Hopefully
mean,
it
it's
comes
very
out
violent.
cool. I think it looked this. I think I liked this trailer the most.
Yes.
They definitely leaned into showing the Super Saiyan version with the crown and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, like he's
on
running a dragon
yeah.
with a fire
Which
sword,
is cool.
Which is cool. Yeah, yeah.
I am excited because they hinted at that in the first two a couple times, and you never really get to see him unleash with the sword and everything.
One thing I will say, I think
Where do you go from there, though?
right. I think the world building that you can at least see from the trailer is really
Looks cool.
interesting because they did some world building in the first two. I mean,
Second
mostly
one
in the second one. The first one, it was like, oh, there's monsters and we're like secret or whatever. The second one, they actually, you know,
With the golden arm.
right?
and
They
everything.
go to that place in Ireland or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck, in
They
the
went
end.
underneath.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the world building in the first one was just about the organization.
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And you know, I get it. You have to start somewhere, but this one was like, yeah, like the whole world is crazy.
Yep.
And, like, there's also a Hellboy.
Right.
It makes sense somewhat of a reboot because it's like we're not going to just touch whatever they had already done in the previous two. We'll show you probably in brief clips and whatnot as a retelling because it's a reboot because it's going to be slightly different, obviously. But this is a world. It's pretty crazy. There's demons and shit. Some of the art directing looked good too.
I like Ian McShane.
Yeah, he's great.
But so far, that seems like the most random part of it to me. The
Is it
casting
Ian McShane?
wise is him as the old man dad.
Because
Because
you're so
I
used
feel
to
like
that,
they
yeah.
cast him pretty perfectly.
Because
in
he
that
looked
first one.
exactly like the
Yeah,
book,
man. And Ian McShane's great. Just personality wise, he seems like way left field of that.
Mm.
But I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna be shit. Only thing that makes me think it could be shit as much as I love her,
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich casting, it usually means it's somebody had
Someone knew someone.
Yeah, somebody knew somebody that's gonna be boob.
I mean, to be honest though, she seems okay in the trailer. She's very stone faced.
Yeah,
which she
that
does
might
well.
actually help.
And
she's not the main character,
That's
which
true.
also helps.
I will also say, like, the first trailer I ever saw, I was like, ooh. Second trailer, I was like, hey. This one, I'm like, I'd probably see it.
Yeah. This one looks
So-
like a spectacle enough to see in the cinema.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Next trailer, Shazam.
Shazam trailer. This is. I think they said this is a final trailer. Maybe there's one more.
This is the final trailer.
But
When's that one out? April?
I think?
Oh, Hellboy's also out in April, right?
I think so.
April, man. What a month. It's going to have...
It's
Endgame.
weird how they're just pushing the summer, like, blockbuster season up,
Yeah.
like, sooner and sooner.
That's why it feels like in August, September, you're like...
You're like, where's the movies? And they're like, fucking Expendables 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, thanks, man.
Actually, wait. I think roughly
Dude,
that
those-
time is going to be the
those-
Fast and Furious spin-off.
Oh, God.
Sean.
It'll
Honestly,
it's gonna come
that
out-
one is more interesting to me than the Fast
yeah.
and Furious
Yeah,
movie.
That's
it's
the
gonna
first
come out
one
on
I'm
my
like-
birthday, because those movies always come out on my birthday weekend.
His
like,
birthday
without
superhero,
fail.
yours is like...
My-
Fast and Furious.
honestly, all three of the Expendables came out like on my birthday weekend.
That's amazing.
Nice.
They know what you're after.
Yeah,
I think
Happy birthday.
my last couple years were Spider-Man and then Ant-Man, and now Spider-Man again this year.
That's pretty good. That's this year too, man.
Usually Spider-Man when I was a kid, always came out in May. So I'm glad it's now birthday present.
Birthday present. Shazam, though.
Shazam, man.
Trailer. What do you think?
So, Shazam trailer is interesting because I feel like the first trailer and the second trailer were sort of different.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this trailer it was like not different at all. Like, I feel like they haven't really shown anything that they haven't shown in any
Just
of the
like
trailers.
slices of
Of
scenes
other
they've
things,
shown they've
right,
already seen.
right. Which I, for one, actually appreciate
Yeah.
because I fucking hate it when they spoil
The whole movie? Especially when you find out after the fact that it's like, oh, everything in the trailer was actually in order of the movie.
Yeah,
Right,
and it was like
right.
they showed
Yeah.
the entire third act reveal.
Right.
Or,
Right.
I hate when they show the last
Anything.
scene of
Yeah.
the movie
The last
in the
action
trailer.
sequence
Yeah,
or something.
you're like,
Yeah.
cool,
They
thanks.
literally show the last scene of... Remember Amazing Spider-Man 2? That scene where he's like spinning the sewer lid around? That was like... it wasn't a post-credit, but it was
That
literally
was the last thing
shot
before
of
the
movie.
credits, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What is that?
It's just weird when they show the trailer in the actual order of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool. I know what's going to happen now.
Also, just to get this grievance out while we've got Adam on, he's very adamant that he doesn't want any more of the trailer before the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whoever's in charge of trailers,
You guys,
stop doing that.
fucking stop that shit.
It's probably just the studio. I don't get it.
No, it's a
betting
sizzle
you-
reel.
I'm betting you the reason that is because a lot of people
Go, ugh.
change it in the first like 5 seconds or less.
Or
and so they
YouTube.
go, yeah, but
Yeah, you
I
see
think
that.
they show that little thing so that you get a small version of the trailer. So even if you skip it, you saw something.
Yeah. I mean,
I get it.
From a
It's still
marketing
annoying.
standpoint, it's pretty genius.
Right.
But if I'm going to watch the trailer, either I've gone out of my way to watch the trailer,
Right.
or it's playing before a movie, I'm going to have to watch the whole trailer anyway. Because they do it even for the trailers.
Do they do it in the cinema?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've...
I'm pretty sure we've seen
never
them.
seen one because I would be like, why?
I don't know if I've ever seen one.
I'm pretty sure they have.
I think maybe once it's happened.
I'm pretty sure they have.
It was
dude.
like, oh, the trailer you're about to... It's like, here's a trailer to it. I was like... And I'm just like, wait, what?
I'm gonna look next time we go, but I'm like 99% sure it's happened like the last 2 or 3 times we went to the movies.
Are you also annoyed that, like, a day before a trailer's released, they'll show a preview of that trailer that... they're about to
You know what
release
I'm
tomorrow?
more irritated with actually is the when you go to see a movie or whatever. I'm not gonna say anything about Alita because that was like a specific instance of where that was annoying. We'll tell you about that later. But big movies that we've gone to see in like the last year,
Yeah.
they do this thing where they have the cast come on or
Like a Q&A type deal, right? An event. It's
yeah,
like an
but,
event type
well,
thing.
not even like that. Like they show like here's the
I know what you're talking
Coca-Cola
about. Yep,
shit.
I
and, like,
know what you're
we
talking
had so much
about
fun
now."
making this movie. And they show you
Oh my
like 2 or
gosh,
3
yep.
scenes that you
I
didn't
know
see in any
exactly
trailer
what you're
before.
talking
You're
about
like,
now.
what are you doing? I'm
Well,
watching
they'll do
the
this
movie.
thing. It's like, oh, while you're enjoying the trailers,
You're like,
here's a trailer and behind the scenes of a movie you're just about to watch.
You're like, I'm already sold,
Yep.
idiot. I'm
already sitting
watching
here.
your movie.
I'm sitting here.
You have my money. Can you please
they did
stop?
that to us during Alita, and
Oh, that was all
it was
way
even
bad.
worse because they showed us all the stuff they were supposed to play at the end of the movie, at the beginning of the movie. So it was like a 20-minute long Q&A.
It was a half hour.
And a whole behind-the-scenes thing. That
See, I'd wanna see it after,
Showed,
'cause I'd be
it showed
yeah.
plot points and stuff, though.
Yeah, I kept like, fucking stop it. Like I already knew. Like I've read the book,
Sure.
so I knew what to expect.
Right.
But now you're
But the
like,
entire
now you know
time,
what the
I was like mad for the crowd. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
You're like, everyone here, you're ruining it for them. See, if I saw that afterwards, I'd be like, I just got out of this film, so I'm enjoying what
Yeah,
I'm doing.
well,
And it's
they-
hype. And
and
you're
they
like,
would-
oh, cool. That was a
It
lot
was
of cool
supposed
behind
to
the
be
scenes.
after.
They-
You
yeah.
saw before then.
And there was no warning, so we
Yeah.
were all just sitting there like, okay, but when's the movie start? Because they just told us, we're going to play something after the movie is over, and then they just played it all then. So
Yeah.
we're like, huh? We were doing
I blame the
John
cinema.
Travolta with the coats.
I blame the cinema for that, though.
I
don't know if it's
Yeah, it
actual-
was for sure the
It's gotta be the cinema's fault.
And that's why before the movie even ended, the lights all came on.
Which
Like,
is
Yeah.
when it was supposed to be for
Yeah.
the behind the scenes
Yeah.
shit. Garbage. I would have complained.
In any case, Shazam trailer. They didn't. I feel like they didn't really show much of the Mark Strong villain. They still haven't really shown what the
Yeah.
whole point of the villain is, which is fine to me. But it's just something that I find interesting.
Honestly,
Usually
there's also
when
a
that
lot
happens,
more
it's for a
spoilers right
reason.
now.
Oh, for Shazam.
Yeah. But like, if you know of the comic book Shazam, you'll know of a little bit more backstory, and it wouldn't be too much of a surprise. I
Is it
suppose.
Shazam family?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I didn't see that.
In toy form, you actually see what they look like.
Right.
But I'm
I've
glad they
seen-
didn't show
I've
any
seen
of that
pop
in the trailers.
vinyls of it.
Pop vinyls don't reveal.
This is real toys. Of
This is
it?
actual like
Okay, I'm gonna have
Mattel
to
toys
look
and
at
stuff.
that,
Yeah.
'cause-
They look neat, but I'm like, the fact that they're not showing that in the actual trailers yet is a good thing because it'll be
Yeah.
a nice
That's
surprise.
why I'm thinking that is because
They're going to be vital to the
they're
story. and stuff.
probably vital
absolutely.
to the third act.
Absolutely,
So that's why
yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't seen much of the villain.
This feels like an actual old school trailer in a sense, where it's like, oh, here's an actual tease of shit.
I definitely feel like trailers in general need to go back to the way they were like 4 years ago, because it was maybe it was longer, but I feel like it was only about 4 years ago, where you got like a teaser, you got like a real early cut trailer that really just showed you the stuff you saw in the teaser, and then you got a full trailer.
and it was like vanished for however long.
Yeah, and
Now you don't get that, man.
now they're like, fucking
You get-
see this movie, see this movie.
You get like a reveal trailer, then a proper teaser,
and then TV
And then you get the
spots.
little-
yeah, then
you get the
trailers 1, 2, and then TV
Don't
spots.
forget, you get the little tiny trailer before each one of those.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's a lot.
Or would
but
you prefer 90s trailers where there's always a narrator?
hate that because they tell you the entire.
I
plot.
know! I
Um,
know!
I actually really like how, for the most part, how Marvel handles their trailers, because you get very seldomly do you get anything of import, and the stuff that they do give you, you're like, that could be
Anything.
fucked
Yeah,
with.
because
that could
they'll-
be fucked with, because now they're
They do that all the
taking
time
stuff
now,
out.
yeah.
They're digitally messing with.
That's why
all
I'm like,
the
the Endgame trailer, I'm like, with Captain Marvel, they're going to show the final Endgame trailer.
Right, we didn't mention that. At the end of Captain Marvel, we get the final trailer
So
for
as like a
Endgame
post-credit
as a
scene.
post-credit. So it's similar to like what they did with the first Avenger,
Into
Captain America First Avenger, because we got the
The Avengers
first
trailer.
Avengers trailer at the
which
end
was
of that.
mad hype. when
Yeah.
that
Oh
first
yeah.
came
I
out.
remember being so stoked.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is so soon. I love
yeah,
it.
it looks incredible.
Yeah, I'm like, can't wait. It was worth it.
We got some more toilers for Endgame too, but do we even talk about?
Nah.
We're not even mention it.
Because it's Disney.
You can look it up if
Yeah,
you give a
look
shit.
it up. It's too much of a spoiler.
Was
It's
that
like-
the?
well, there's only there's no trailer talk right now. It's Will Smith has left the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
scene.
Right. Supposedly scheduling conflict. I think.
Aladdin 2, bro.
Yeah, I think it's more so. I think it's more so. James Gunn wanted to make his own franchise.
Honestly,
so
I'm fine with
I'm
it.
fine with it. I'm fine with it. Although I do think that Deadshot would have been an interesting character to see with James Gunn's
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
style, to see how he'd handle Will Smith in a
Right.
movie. But I'm curious just to see what the team is they put together, because I hopefully if it's some other characters we've heard of. Not necessarily that were in that movie.
They're bringing
but other
Boomerang back, bro.
DC characters we've heard of. That's doubtful. That's doubtful.
Would you want to see any of the original cast return though?
I want to see if they're not going to use him in the Harley thing. I'd like to see them bring Joker back.
Honestly, I want to see a good writer handle that Joker.
Yeah, that's why I want to see it. Just do something with
Because
it.
visually,
Visually,
he's not the most favorable, and they're going to do this solo Joker movie.
Yeah, which is why I'm
which is
saying
fine because
I think visually he was actually close.
Because he's crazy. He looked like a crazy.
I just didn't like the
tattoos.
The
was
tattoos
the
were
worst part.
just
yeah.
Like get
the
out of here
grill
with your
was even a bit.
Because when he was wearing that tux, I was like, "You're straight up in that cover."
Yeah.
Like that's a straight up cover.
Yeah. To me, both him and Harley always just seemed like American Die Hard to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see what they end up doing with
Yeah,
that.
that
But
one.
I'd like to see them bring back Joker and actually use him for something. Doubtful though.
Yeah, at this point.
But Joker, Harley, and Deadshot were the only characters I really gave a shit.
Because they were the only characters that were actually fleshed out.
No, they had some other ones. I just don't feel like they were really that. Like they had Diablo, which I thought was cool. They let him go.
He's
Super
great, but it's
Saiyan
like
at the
let's
end.
kill the actual
But then
guy
they
who's
killed
a
him.
god.
And they made it seem like they killed off Croc as well.
No, he survived in the end, didn't he?
I thought he went underwater to stop something and then got blown up.
Really? I thought he was in prison stuff at the end still.
Oh yeah, they gave him BET.
Yeah, that's why.
Goofy shit. I don't think. I highly doubt they're bringing him back.
It sounds like a joke.
Yeah,
Katana's alive still, I think.
Jesus.
I'm okay without Katana either.
She was just she was a prop.
I feel like the only character you need to return is Amanda Waller. That's the only one that should still be there.
She should be, unless they recast her.
But she's the only one that's
Right.
integral to
Story?
the Suicide Squad.
Well, yeah, because
in
she's the
general.
one that organized the team.
Right. She
Right.
puts them together and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So I
It'd be
feel
funny
like
if they just recast her as
she's the
well.
only one they need. I mean, they've recast her already before.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
So
That's true.
that's not as big a deal. I just feel
No,
like
no.
she's the only character
As a character, yeah,
that
for
needs
sure.
to
A character
return.
that returns. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Last bit of news is Aquaman 2's got a release date now. It's 2020. I think December 2020.
December
2022.
That's not-
2022.
2022.
Oh, I was gonna
Yes,
say,
my
that's
bad.
not that
2026,
long, dude.
2022, yeah.
For
That's still not that long.
Yeah, it's
40
still-
years worth of hours going to CG, that's not
Right.
very long.
And the only reason it's 2022 is because I'm sure they got other stuff to finish off first before they start.
I mean, what's weird is like we've still got no real information about Wonder Woman 84.
Nothing. And
I'm assuming that we're going to get the trailer in Shazam
When's
Probably.
the release date for that next year?
this year still.
Word?
Yeah.
That seems weird.
I thought Wonder
I
Woman
think
84
so,
was this year.
But I feel
Let
like
me
there's
check
no
it out.
way that doesn't get pushed.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. I would not be surprised at this point.
Because I know they got footage at Comic-Con last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They got to see some stuff. But I just don't
Oh,
know. Is
it's
it next year?
It's next year. It's June next year.
June next year.
Okay.
Do you
That makes
remember?
more sense.
Do you remember when like movies used to like have a release date? You'd be like, "Oh man, I'm excited for that movie," and then it would just push. You're like, "Oh, that's weird," and then you wouldn't care
Yeah.
because
Right.
the movie was good.
Yeah.
They should do that again.
Sometimes it happens. I feel like
pretty
release
rare, I
dates
feel
when I
like.
was a kid were easier because they just said summer. And
Yeah.
you got it when you
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
See, we didn't even get summer because our summer is in December,
right.
right? So ours is like just says coming soon. I'm like,
Right.
hey.
Yeah.
And when I see the post, I'm like, oh, it's coming out.
I remember the first time I saw the Mortal Kombat poster that just said coming soon
Yep.
on it and the Mortal
Yep.
Kombat dragon
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? I mean, probably not
Yeah,
that.
no,
'cause
it
I
would have
was-
been
I
amazing.
was
You look at
in
your mom.
sixth grade. What the fuck? What the
And she just
fuck,
fucking
Mom?
slaps you.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
That would be so good.
I was
But like
still-
back then, it's like no trailers, nothing, no real info. We knew it was coming out, I guess. We just found
In
out
a
right then and there.
world.
We didn't even know things are being made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
We
see
got-
a poster,
we
you're
have
like,
so
oh
much
shoot.
access.
You saw
Yeah,
you
that's
saw a
the problem.
trailer and it was like coming soon,
Soon, yeah.
and then it was like Jurassic Park. I feel like
Oh,
had a
dude.
trailer that came out like a year before the
Yep.
movie came out.
Right.
But I was excited, man.
Dude,
I
are
was
you
like,
kidding me? Like
Yeah.
there. So this is obviously tangential. Sorry, but
Whole thing's changed.
when Jurassic Park came out, there was this theater back home. We called it the Dome. It was like the biggest theater there, and it's huge dome, and like
Is it legit?
Yeah, it could hold like 500 people.
That seems extravagant.
It's huge, but it was like it was the biggest screen
Okay.
you get at surround sound. It was dope, and the entire summer Jurassic Park came out for 3 months. There was a line all the way around the building. Like there was just every show, people were lining up to get into this shit. It was
Because-
crazy,
see,
dude.
That's when movies were an event.
Mhm.
It's kind of not really anymore.
Yeah, people are like,
I feel like the last movie I remember
Lining up.
completely being an event like that was probably Avatar.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like you
Yep.
hearing about people just losing their
It's
mind.
amazing.
Yeah, like people were killing themselves because they couldn't live in Pandora. To me, that shit is that's so bonkers.
Yeah.
Like that's a real movie phenomenon. And I feel like we all, like general zeitgeist people, are like, that seems weird. It was just a Blue Cat movie, and it was like Pocahontas or whatever. What was
Blue
the big deal?
Pocahontas, yeah.
But man, people
Irrational people
legitimately
everywhere, yeah.
were losing their shit over that movie.
They were
Completely
crying
transported.
themselves because it's like, I can never live there.
And it, it's supposed to be like highest. Is it still highest grossing?
Nothing's gonna top it.
I don't know, man.
Because the second one after that is Titanic.
Right, and
And then one, like, below that, it's a lot below.
Do you
we
think?
got
Do you think?
6 more coming.
Do you think part of that though is that
3D sales and whatnot?
no repeat viewings?
Oh, for
absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like Avengers and stuff like that, stuff comes out so quickly now that you're like, oh yeah, I'll just watch it one time and it'll be out in like a few months and I'll buy it.
I think that's the difference now, though. It's like when a movie comes out, it's not in the like, depending on how well it does, it's not in the cinema for very long.
No.
You know,
If it does
Like,
well, it's like
6
2 months.
Yeah, like at least these days, maybe 5 months if you're lucky. I doubt it though. 4 months.
That's
is
like
pushing.
That's like a crazy Hallmark
Yeah.
stuff like Star
Right.
Wars and shit.
Right. But now it's like 3 months. It's already in the bloody digital download.
Right.
Like Spider-Man's digital download right now. I was like, didn't it just come out like December? The heck?
Well, there's like there are movies that are literally in the theater for like 2 or 3 weeks now
Yep.
because they don't do well.
Yeah.
Also, that kind of sucks as well. It's like, because say when a new movie comes out, they'll try to push out every other film so that they can have more screenings of that one movie.
Well, the repeat viewing thing is
That's a
definitely
fact.
is a
That's a
factor,
fact.
but a lot of the Marvel movies and a lot of these big tentpole movies still get repeat viewing.
but I
Quite a bit.
No,
that's
I
where
agree.
those huge numbers come from.
I
think
agree
so.
with you.
Like Black Panther,
Right.
that was all repeat viewing.
I agree, but I still think, like, I know when I was a kid, if a movie was super dope, we would watch that shit 3 or 4 times in the theater, easy, you know.
I think I might have watched like Jurassic Park maybe 3 times.
Yeah, I think I saw.
I was still
Yeah.
doing that prior to moving. Going to see shit I liked more than one
Oh, yeah.
time.
I
a
think
kid, I'd
I
do
think
that.
I saw Jurassic Park 4 or 5
Yeah.
times in the theater, easy.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Um,
like, this is how is
But
this
like, even like now, if I like something, the idea of going to see it a second time, I'm like, nah.
I
you know?
still do.
It's really crushed my
I
movie
still
going
do.
experience that I have
Yeah.
no one to do.
See,
that
if I
with
was there all the time,
anymore.
I would too.
There are movies that I see
yeah.
more than once, but typically I don't. You know,
I still
just don't
do.
have the
Like, I
time.
feel Endgame, maybe 2-3 times. Too easy.
Yeah.
3, possibly.
That's how
But
it used
too
to be.
easy.
That first Avengers movie came out.
Yeah.
I think I saw that 4 or 5
Yeah,
times.
yeah. That one is about, I think, 3 or 4 for me. Yeah.
But yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't happen.
Repeat viewing makes sense though. Like,
It doesn't happen as much now. It doesn't have to happen as much now for as long because they come out digitally and whatnot way faster. But they definitely still happen. That's one of the things that that Disney, I guess, is concerned about with Endgame, and we're concerned with Infinity War. It's because the longer the movie is, the less likely you're for repeat viewings.
Really.
Which is why they're like, because a lot of people, they'll go like, yeah, let's go see it once and then see it again that same day later. That's harder to do. You have to see it twice as a 6-hour
I got a mate
experience.
back home who, like, usually like take a day off.
Right,
The day of, like, when he knows a film's gonna come out.
right,
He'll buy like maybe 2-3 sessions that day.
right.
That's a lot, dude.
I know. I usually wait at least 24 hours before I watch it again.
I mean, I feel like
At least.
you need that much time. Like,
Just
whenever we see shit, it takes us a while just to like get our thoughts out.
That's
and try to
mainly it. Like, because
digest
if I see it that many times in a day, I don't even know what to look out for. Whereas, if I sit down at least a day or two, I've got time to actually like think about it. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna look out for more for that.
Right,
I've got
right,
things
right.
to look out for and whatnot. But
Like I think I saw Infinity War twice,
It was like Thursday and then the Saturday or
Right.
something, right?
Okay.
which was fine for me because it gave some process
Yeah.
time. We could talk about it, and then when we saw it again the second time, I could be looking for different shit or
I think
letting
I
it piece
watched that
together.
one
or
3
something.
times. First 2 was in like within 24 hours the day after, but then the third one was like the weekend after.
Right.
So I was like, all right.
Even
okay.
like Spider-Verse, I saw twice,
Yeah.
and that I appreciated a different way the second time I
Likewise.
saw it. Especially because I think that was one of the very few movies to put in like surprises that worked really well. Like there's a couple like character plot reveals in Spider-Verse that that caught me off guard, even as a person who reads the shit out of Spider-Man comics.
So I looked up the worldwide box office.
Yeah.
Avatar is at 2.7 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Titanic is 2.1 bill. Star Wars Force Awakens is just 2. Avengers Infinity War is also 2.
So, do you think another reason Avatar did really well is because it's easy for foreign markets to like get into it too?
Foreign market is Jurassic World is number 5.
Right.
And that's the one that was the surprise hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But that's the reason why some movies are that even get sequels, like fucking
Fury 7
people are
is number
really,
7.
People are because they say largely because international cast.
Absolutely.
But what was it? Like Alita even is supposed to be like a bigger deal overseas and
It
stuff.
is a bigger deal.
Like might be the only reason we even get a sequel.
Which is good.
I'm fine. Like
I want a sequel for that because I kind of want more of that story revealed. More overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I know Warcraft was still in talks.
Pacific
to do
Rim.
Pacific Rim also
Pacific
got a
Rim
sequel
was like
due to the
that.
overseas, even though the sequel was kind of like
Even Hansel and Gretel. Do you remember that?
that got a sequel, right?
Yeah,
because of
it
overseas.
did really well overseas.
That was an MTV movie, wasn't it?
did it actually
so.
get like they're making the sequel still, or it came out?
I think it came out.
Really?
I don't even remember anymore.
I remember really not giving a shit about the first one.
Yeah.
It was Jeremy
Age of
Jeremy Renner,
Age
isn't
of
it?
Ultron
You're
is
like,
number 8 in the top 10.
It better
Age
be.
of Ultron.
Yeah, for a film
Way
that
underrated.
people
Way
supposedly
underrated.
don't like, it's very high.
I say go rewatch that
Yeah,
shit.
Age of Ultron
That
is
movie's
fucking
great.
sick.
And it's got we were talking about it earlier off camera.
Yes, off camera.
That
earlier.
both of the Whedon Avengers have really interesting long cut shots in it. Like the first Avengers has that one really long fight scene where they're like the camera's traveling around from Avenger to Avenger as they're doing that big
and then
action
following
scene.
like the
Yeah.
big.
And then in
Age of
Age of
Ultron
Ultron
in
they
the
have the
beginning.
snow battle
Beginning.
thing in the beginning, and they also have the scene at the end where
The
they're all in the
actual
chapel
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
they're all
yeah.
flying around each other and
The
shit.
robots and shit.
Yeah.
It's like watch
There's
those again,
no-
and you're like,
There's no
how-
shot
yeah.
like that in the Russo's Avenger
Not
movie,
yet.
but
We were saying
we all
that
know
as well.
there's that huge shot coming where they show like everybody who's been a superhero so far together, and I don't know how they're gonna handle that shit.
I don't know what to expect with Endgame.
Yeah.
I guess one of the main concerns regarding Endgame is like after that, now what?
Yeah, what do you do now?
Yeah, it's almost like you
You
have,
have to go back down.
Yeah, you have to
That's
basically
what they did,
with Ant-Man.
after they did the what was it, Civil War was the big deal.
Yep, and then they went Ant-Man.
Did they do? Did Ant-Man show up in? No, there was no way he showed up in Ant-Man or in Civil War first.
No, there was Ant-Man.
Oh yeah,
and then
Ant-Man
he
first
was
and then
in-
Civil War. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
What was
But
before
Ant-Man
Ant-Man?
was something came out before Ant-Man that was huge though. Was that Avengers 2?
Might have been Avengers 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know something
yeah,
came out
that
right
makes
after
more sense. Yeah,
that was like they were like, okay, now that we've done this huge,
it's
thing,
a palate cleanser. You need a palate
let's go
cleanser of a
small.
film.
Yeah.
The
They
one
need to build back
after
up.
Infinity, the one after Endgame is Spider-Man.
Go
Yeah.
small. Get it?
Yeah,
Because he's an ant.
I do remember.
That's pretty good. That one.
And after Civil War, they did Spidey, so it was kind of a similar thing. Spidey was definitely a more like truncated,
Yep. Smaller
small
story.
story. Yeah, it was just him versus a robber.
I think that it works.
That's like 9/10 of his villain.
Yes,
love
but
it.
I love
It's
that.
straight-
No, I do too.
That should stay
That's-
what it is.
That's why Spider-Man's villains are my favorite villains in the comics.
They're
Yeah.
street level dudes.
Yeah.
Yep. Who just happen to have access to like crazy weapons or
Yeah.
like a flight device
but
or
they're all
like yeah.
kind of dumb.
Yeah, kind of dumb or like
They always
selfish
they're,
reasons.
They're all robbers, but
Yeah.
they wear neon. Like, what are you doing, man?
the only ones that are like crazy is like Doc Ock,
Oh, yeah.
where he's actually a genius, but
Mhm.
you know he's gonna attach octopus arms.
Right, there's always
Everybody got
something unique about those
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
Real curious how they're going to handle
I am curious.
Mysterio.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta have octopus arms.
Yeah,
Facts.
Yeah.
Hashtag facts machine.
that's
That's
it for the
what I
movie
got.
stuff though.
That's it for this episode. So until the next one, guys. So should I do it on the thing?
So you want?
Stay chipper, chaps. Oh, I didn't do it. Stay chipper, chaps. There you go. Now I did it. Woohoo!